G'day, Mason here from the Naked Racer Workshop. I've just been asked to show all you guys one of the projects we're working on over here in the Japanese Enduro side. This is a BMW K1100. It's going to be a cafe racer. You'll be able to see in an image what it looked like originally. This is very much a weight-reduced stage. We're just tearing it all down to basically rebuild it from the ground up. So we're going to be minimizing wire runs, minimizing body work, trying to make it as pure and as sleek as possible. And yeah, hopefully as the project goes on, we'll be able to show you guys little updates here and there and what its final form looks like. All right, so we've got the rest of the bike over here as well. So this is just some of the bigger parts that aren't required to be worked on just now. As you can see here, we've got the original tank, but repainted in this really nice British racing green. Custom cap, nice little rondelles on the side to make it a bit more minimal. We've already done the bars and steering head on this one, the headlights, so all the controls are completely changed. We've gone for a more racy ergonomic, more racy geometry to it, sorry. And I've got the Moto Gadget Mo unit in there, which is going to be the central nervous system for the whole bike. The big challenge with these ones is that because the 1100 is injected, we've actually got to hybridize the wiring. So we have to keep just enough of the original electrics to run the spark plugs, the fuel pump, things like that, while trying to get rid of as much as we possibly can to just keep that bike looking as naked and as minimal as possible. We've got the exhaust pipes as well, which we have to cut the original muffler off, and we're just fitting the headers to this new nice sleek stainless steel system here. That's going to be loud as hell. They'll hear him coming. It's a really nice little system, that. And then we've got the seat there, which is going to be a much flatter, much simpler version than the original. And we've actually hooked the Motronics unit up to the bottom of it to keep it out the way, to try and keep that frame as open and clean as possible as well. Okay, so as you can see, the bike is now looking a lot more complete than it was. We're starting to get the framework back together, starting to get the wiring in place. We're going to be replacing almost the entire wiring loom in this bike. Because it's something that a lot of people do is when they put in these the Moto Gadget units like this one here, they tend to leave a lot of the original wiring in place and just cut off the connectors they don't want. I'm not a fan of that. You end up with a whole bunch of bulk that you don't need. You make it real confusing for the next guy. And because a lot of those wires stay connected, it ends up with multiple possible points of failure if there's any water ingress. One thing that I'm going to do before this goes any further is rectify the customer's output shaft seal on his gearbox. Unfortunately, he had the idea when he was storing this bike to leave it with no oils in the engine or the transmission, which seems sensible, but actually a lot of those things need to stay lubricated. They need to stay oil bathed. And so when you take the oil out and they're exposed to the elements, things tend to dry and crack, and sometimes you don't see it until just a little further down the track. So what I'm going to be doing today is pulling the swing arm off the bike, getting access to that output shaft seal that drives the rear wheel, and then replacing it with a brand new one. Okay, so new output shaft seal. The old one's back here. Now I've already loosened everything up so that we don't have to spend hours watching me take apart a drive shaft. Importantly, with these paralever units, you need to pull the whole thing apart, because if you don't, and the drive shaft doesn't go back in together correctly phased, that is, the uni joints don't look the right ways, you end up with this horrible clunking sound from the drive shaft, and you do damage to the unis because they don't line up. So what we'll do is we'll just take the actual hub off first. Go, the hub's away. Pull it off the torque arm. There we go. Good splines. Yeah, it's well oiled. This is good. That bearing might need a bit of replacement. Next step is the drive shaft itself. It's a lot easier now without the weight of the hub hanging off of it. One and two. Oh, go on, be nice. There we go.
So shaft exposed. See if it wants to be nice about this. Nope. So the shaft actually locks on to the gearbox output here. So you need a little bit of leverage just to free it up. And if I pull that boot away, we can see the old seal in here. I think it's run out of oil.
Okay, well, that's it for today. I'm going to get the drive shaft back on this bike now and get onto the wiring again. Stay tuned for the next one and we'll see you then. K1100 finally ready to go. Here it is. Okay, so we're ready to hand it over to the customer. Hope he has a lot of fun on his new whip and enjoys the fruits of his planning and our labour. Yeah, that's it.